Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. We are traveling and we're heading today to revisit my old stomping grounds, the Off-Grid Tiny House. So we're gonna go check on that, see how things made out. And basically, I talked to the lady, guys, and I talked to the lady that's buying it. She was waiting on some more funds to come in, so within a week or so she's gonna bring half of $7,000 down, which is $7,000 is the leftover payment needed before I relinquish the keys and the ownership and all that fun stuff. And yeah, and I'm gonna turn the heat up to maximum here because it's freezing cold. Actually, let's drop it down a notch. You won't be able to hear. So I'm on the way to the tiny house as we speak. I haven't checked on it in a long time, so I want to see if the solar is still working perfectly fine and all that jazz. So I brought my torch with me to get into the lock on the tiny house, and hopefully all is good there. And the Freedom Convoy, guys, the truckers in Canada are kicking some major butt. You know, that small fringe of people that True Dope said. Yeah, it's not very small, is it? He's actually a coward. He's actually went into hiding because of the protests coming to Ottawa. He claims he's got COVID the second time when he already had it and got over it, and then he still got all 3 jabs. Now, that's called total bull, but that's coming from a politician, so that's their day-to-day. So coward Trudeau is in hiding, and the truckers are kicking some major butt. They got a ton of support, even worldwide. And I stand with the truckers wholeheartedly because we got to get rid of this tyranny bullshit out of Canada and out of everywhere else. And the masks, and the mandates, and the restrictions, and the passports, all this BS. Let's get rid of it. Let's get back to 2019 where things were normal. And anybody who went along with this shit should be seriously considered and possibly tried for treason of the country. Now, many of you may not know this, but Justin Trudeau is a cult member of Charles Schwab. Schwab has indoctrinated and trained a bunch of young upcoming people and placed them in political positions. That way he has control over them and over policy of what goes on in each country. You guys can look this up, and Trudeau is one of these numbnuts who is following Charles Schwab's game plan of the Great Reset, which in turn brings in all this horse shit for us Canadians. The restrictions, the lockdowns, the forced jabs, the vaccine passports, all this shit. And taking the economy all combined into this for the Great Reset. So then when everything goes bust, Charles Schwab will swoop in and buy up all this shit for the pennies on the dollar and grow his wealth and power. So Charles Schwab needs to be hung from the nearest light post, in my opinion, and all his assets seized from not only him but all his relatives. Completely all assets seized, and give it back to let's give it back to all the restaurant and business owners who lost their business or are still struggling here in Canada. Let's take all his assets, give them basically a nice big payback over the last, give him for the next 4 years anyways, because I'm sure he's got that amount of money to cover it. Tax free, just giving out, and that's it. Now, some interesting things with the trucker convoy. Obviously, the People's Party's behind it. The Conservatives are going to say they're behind it, but they're liberal light, guys. So if you guys want real change, we're either going to have to keep the pressure on with the truckers and on all these politicians to make sure they're doing what we want and not what Charles Schwab wants or anybody else wants, but actual what Canadians want. You know, Conservatives, like we got Doug Ford, we got Numbnuts, O'Toole in there, O'Neill, O'Toole, whatever. These dudes are liberal light, and they want to follow the same policies as Trudeau. They're just not as blatant as Trudeau about it. So you don't want to really support these people. You want to go for the People's Party of Canada, because People's Party of Canada is not basically in league with the globalists. The globalists are controlling most of these political parties, like I mentioned. Schwab is a globalist, Soros globalist. They control these politicians. You don't want to elect or support any politician who is backed by these people, because then you're just voting in your own tyranny. I know it seems like an impossible task to vote for People's Party of Canada, but holy shit, guys. You want to vote for Hitler when he's in power, or what? It's basically that simple. You're voting for your own fate here. But they're very super proud of the truckers. I know all the Canadians are. They had a call-in show where all these kids were calling into the trucker hotline to thank them. Brought a tear to your eye listening to it, because they're fighting for everybody. And they're delivering the freedom package. And that's what our politicians are supposed to be bringing us, is freedom and having our country kick ass. But now they're on with the globalists bandwagon and want to bankrupt our countries and bring in the communism and all this horse shit. So the truckers had to pull up their bootstraps and kick some ass down in Ottawa. And massive support globally, guys. They're over $7 million plus on their GoFundMe and counting. And kind words of support from all across the country, all across the world. It's amazing. Now, like I said, I'm heading to the tiny house to check on things. A little bit worried about, we've had some damn cold temperatures. I want to make sure that my solar is still working properly in there. Like I said, I haven't been to the tiny house in months and months and months. But the latest is, like I said earlier, the chick that's buying the tiny house, she's gonna come down sometime in the next 1 or 2 weeks, give me about half of the 7,000, meet up with me, have a little game plan powwow again, and then and then bring the rest of the money back before April, when it has to be moved by. So that is the game plan. So yeah, I will get back to you guys when I am inside the tiny house and show you the tour of the freezing cold icebox tiny house. So we'll see you then. To see all my live daily content, become a Patreon member. Click on the link on my YouTube channel at the Off-Grid Tiny House. Click on support this channel. It'll take you to the Off-Grid Tiny House page on Patreon.
or you can just Google it. Sign up and join in. Thank you.